Alright, this is The Flask. This is issue 2 of that series starring Wally West. I didn't give it a fair shot because I hated that it was a constant reminder of heroes in Christmas. This miniseries was all about redeeming and trying to fix Wally West as a character after Heroes in Christmas and writer Tom Queen had performed a controlled demolition on the hero at the behest of petty editor Dan Diddy Dido, who famously hates the character. This story did a decent job of trying to course correct, but then the very end of it was overhauled by Dan Diddy Dido. It was changed and it was utterly insulting to the people who had been reading this book. After 5 issues, 5 pretty decent issues, the 6th one just ends with a wet fart by having Wally West lose all his memories and his personality to become the big bad for a DC crossover that is never going to happen because Dan Diddy Dido got fired. So this series just feels like a waste of time. We have some nice stuff trying to refocus Wally West that is then all discarded in the final issue. And then that awful development from that is largely towards nothing. All this miniseries really has at the moment is some very loose connection in setting up certain elements for death metal. The Flask, he has been sent out into the multiverse to try and save dying worlds and realities. And here we have him in a world where President Barack Obama is Superman. And this world, it is being devoured by this evil, dark, slime monster thing from the dark multiverse. And the Flask, he saves President Obama from it because he has this magic cosmic baton thing that fires light energy that kills all the dark multiverse stuff or whatever. And President Obama, his security detail, they are the Justice League of this reality, and they all quickly realise that the Flask is an ally in this crisis. We get some backstory here, a little bit of context about how Obama got attacked by the dark multiverse monster. Probably didn't like Obamacare, or at least the drone strikes. And the whole planet, it is going to die because of the dark multiverse invasion. And now it's all up to Wally West to try and save things. The Flask, he has been recruited by the Living Tribunal to go out and save these dying universes. And it is a very straightforward attempt to swap shoes. Wally West, he was obviously brought really low and made into a sad sack killer in Heroes in Christmas. And here, what they did to try and make it better is have him fight against things that are even worse and more evil than what he did. Also, FYI, for your information, I think that the DC Reborn redesign of Wally West is the best design of the decade. Well, the last decade, not this decade, the last 10 years. This decade just started now. I think it is the perfect look for the character and makes a clear distinction between him and boring Barney Allen. Mind you, I prefer it just being flat red or whatever. This one is closer to like a reddy pink, and it has slightly darker trousers and accents to the rest of it. I do like this design though, it is good. Do you like it? And then we have got DC's boring Marvel pastiches. These all come from an alternate reality that is home to all of their parodies of Marvel characters. This is the Avengers, our here, and this is the Excellent Men. They're not really characters, they are just novelties. And surprisingly, they didn't include Yellow Jacket. It was like the only one of them who has a pretty well-defined character and a bit of a history to him. And I don't think he has really been seen in a while, so I'm not yeah, they didn't include Yellow Jacket because Willie West, he killed him in Heroes in Christmas. I genuinely forgot that. Yellow Jacket, he was one of the people that the daft mental elf farm that Willie West killed. All the ones that he killed were shit. I mean, the character selection, it was just shit. It was like characters who aren't really being used anymore, and also Red Arrow. It was like Dan Diddy Dido, he sat down and made a list of characters that he considered worthless and expendable. If Pratt's son, if he was not already dead, he definitely would have been there to be killed in Heroes in Christmas. I'm surprised that Fat Albert character from them Hard Flash comics, I'm surprised he wasn't there. To make it even worse, and the case that Willie West killed another good friend. Anyway, here he is fighting the Marvel heroes. They mistake him for the thing that destroyed their universe. There is Cyclist, there is the Ore, our hero is Captain America. And then the Flask, he gets felled by Thor and Storms using their lightning powers. And apparently now Willie West, he has some control over lightning and he redirects it. Is this a thing? When was this a thing? Is this a new thing? Why can he do this thing? So Willie, instead, he starts trying to fight the evil, dark multiverse blob. And then the Marvel rip-offs, they realise that he is a hero and they try to help him out. Really, there's not much going on here. There's nothing deep, but it is a welcome breath of fresh air to just have a clear-cut superhero story where the hero manages to save the day without any losses or any miserable consequences or any depressing impact. And on top of all that, this is also doing a good job of trying to salvage this destroyed character. I still didn't like being reminded of what happened, but after the first issue, it becomes less annoying. It becomes more obviously the case that Willie West is being written as a hero here, so it becomes less frustrating when he is mentioning or thinking about the events of Heroes in Christmas, because at least he has been written faithfully to his character in this story. However, we also start setting up that ending of this series with the Living Tribunal here, and Willie West, he is going to have to sacrifice his everything to become an evil reality warper bad guy and a new Manhattan Man from the best-selling graphic novel Watching Men. And here are his children, who he has been separated from since the New 52, and he will only have a very, very brief reunion with. The children, at least, they kind of have a happy ending, I suppose. They get reunited with their mum. And the direction for Willie West being a big bad, that was hopefully squashed, and death metal is just like picking up the pieces. I still need to get to that Flask issue of death metal, but I am hopeful. I didn't know about this mini-series though. It's like pissing in the wind. It is an attempt to actively fix something, and that is good. And it is responding to a really destructive use of a character, but then it gets twisted into something else that contradicts and ruins the whole thing at the finish line. Maybe read issues 2, 3, 4 and 5. Maybe that will work. I don't know. You definitely can read this one apart from the rest. It is fairly standalone at least. So I'm giving it 7 thumbs up.